All right, welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your master of monstrous mayhem. And today we are going to be talking about the original, the Amazing Colossal Man. Although it does bear some very strong, it looks a lot like the origin of the Hulk, which we'll go into. But before we do that, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you see what I see about this. I'm not saying Stan and Jack ripped it off, because it's slightly different, but there's a lot of it that's very similar. So, and if you could watch just a little further than usual, I'd really appreciate it. All right, are you ready? Let's roll. Svengoolie did air War of the Colossal Beast last night, but I've already reviewed that, the sequel, and this is a much better movie overall. And it's just, unfortunately, the rights are held up, or the woman who owns the rights will not let anyone air it. There's a lot of speculation about why, but it doesn't really matter in the long run. There, she owns it. It's, it's what she gets to do with it. But there's our American International Pictures logo, and followed up right after that by the Amazing Colossal Man, as opposed to the Incredible Shrinking Man. Um, the movie was released in Anaheim, August 28th, 1957. It runs 80 minutes. The budget was $138,000 and it grossed $848,000 US. So it made money, which is why we got a sequel. Um, it's quite good. There's our main cast there. Just gotta love the guy named Larry Thor, right? And it's just they do a great job. And of course, it was technical effects by Burt I. Gordon, and I believe his wife helped out with it as well. And it was produced and directed by Burt I. Gordon. So this was a response to the Incredible Shrinking Man. Thank you, James Nicholson, and he conceived Dick Miller being in the mind in role for the lead there, but it was Glenn Langan, who's Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Manning. Pardon me, credited as Glenn Langan, and he is the one who makes the movie because gives a wonderful and actually very moving performance, and everyone else responds. I think everyone took it seriously, and it falls down a little bit with the effects, but he's out there for a plutonium bomb test, atomic plutonium bomb, but it doesn't detonate when it's supposed to. And a plane crash lands. Somebody might be out there alive. So Lieutenant uh, Manning goes running out there. Lieutenant Colonel Manning, well, we'll just call him Glenn, runs out there to save him. He's like, I got to save him. Now, think about this. If you've read Hulk 1, the very first one, it's a gamma bomb, but stupid Rick Jones, teenager Rick Jones, right, goes right out there, Daddy O, with his jive patter, and Dr. Bruce Banner, Robert Bruce Banner, if you will, runs out to save him. And then the same thing happens, kaboom, except right before Banner could get it, it hits him from behind. So, and there you go. It's just really similar sequence. Now, I'm sure Stan and Jack probably saw the movie because they liked their monster movies, and that was a big thing back then. I'm not saying they consciously did it on purpose, but who was going to say? I mean, it was based on the book that Nth Man, um, Homer Eon Flint's novel, The Nth Man, from 1928, about a man who's 10 miles high. Anyway, there he is, scarred and plutoniumed up. And there's his fiancee, Carol Forrest. It's Kathy Downs. And I don't know what else she was in. Perry Mason, of course. And she was in Missile to the Moon, the She Creature. Oh, the She Creature, which we'll get to. Glenn was in. He was born in Denver, Colorado. How about that? Let's see if the Return of Dr. X. Oh, he was uncredited. The Strange Death of Herr Schickelgruber. See anything else? Mutiny in Outer Space, Women of the Prehistoric Planet, and the Andromeda Strain, uncredited, which I haven't seen since it was on Channel 2 and didn't understand it. So they're covering him up, trying to save him because he's burned all over. The nurse is talking to his doctor. I think that's Major Eric Coulter, Larry Thor himself, or William Hudson, one of the two. Dr. Lindstrom and Dr. Coulter. Dr. Lindstrom. Oh, wait. Yeah. Military scientist specialist. Okay, it doesn't really help. So there they are. The nurse comes in and he's healed. Oh, he's like clean. So his skin is regenerating. Yeah, and so she's all happy. But unfortunately, they cut off contact with her because they show some regurgitated footage from the H bomb tests, and then we see Glenn as all the hair gets blasted off of him.
Oh, gee, what was that?
It was frightening, wasn't it?
It was horror.
Hey, you know what, Colin?
What, Ryan?
That's what all the songs in this CD set are about. Horror.
Are you saying that every song on this CD album has to do with horror?
You bet I am. 800 songs on 300 CDs.
That's
All about horror.
She wakes up and sneaks about. She wants to see her fiance, but they won't let her. But he finds, and there's a reason. So they do have very lax security here at the Rehabilitation and Research Center, if you know what I mean. And there, oh wait, that's from the other truck. That's from the other movie, the other truck driver. But there it is, and she just sneaks about and goes into the room. And be careful what you wish for. Glenn's 16 feet tall. She faints. So now they get the explanation that the plutonium has affected him, mutated him, if you will, and they're multiplying at an accelerated rate. It's like acromegaly on steroids, except that, well, it will kill him for pretty much the same reason that your heart can't handle it. But they're working on a cure. And he's growing at, what does they say, like 6 to 10 feet a day, maybe? So he's just going to, eventually everything's going to, his heart's going to give out because it can't pump enough blood to him. And he's dreaming, and then he dreams. So we see that he's been in Korea, and he's dreaming about a picnic. And there's his man. He shoots a guy in the face, a Korean, of course. And then he comes home, and he's in the U.S. Army. And then he revisits the blast yet again. And he just can't believe it. But Lindstrom says, go spend time with him so that, he doesn't lose it. But he's not happy because who would be? And they want to know what the tent's for. And now we see that they're in Nevada and near Las Vegas. And this guy is still there. I learned about him first from the Godzilla comic book from Marvel because Godzilla went through Las Vegas as well and almost drowned it. And there's our very cleverly named TV announcer, H. Wells. Let's see if I can find out if they gave him a newscaster. Keith Hetherington, but H. Wells, because Bert I. Gordon liked her H.G. Wells now, didn't he? But they want to know he's wanting to know what happened to the colonel. They're working on it. They just can't figure it out. But, they're out there. They're having a good time. But he's, how are they going to live together again? You're reading a book. Maybe the Bible. Kind of looks like a Bible, doesn't it? He just doesn't want to grow. Oh, there. This poor little schlub here has to bring him his chicken and the paper. And then he starts laughing because you're going to tell everybody what a freak I am. This print came from this copy I downloaded from the Internet Archive. I highly recommend donate. If you use it, you should donate a couple of bucks to them, and they'd really appreciate it. I do have a copy of it somewhere on disc, but I don't know if it's any better. It was released on VHS before the rights were held up for DVD or anything else. There's some company that says they've got the rights to it, but they only sell on eBay. So read into that what you may. They figure out that they need to reverse the, I don't know what gland, pineal gland, and they shrinkify some animals, which seems mean to me, but pygmy animals are all the big rage: cats, goats, etc. There you go. He's happy. We can save him, but we've got to inject him with this giant syringe, which, yeah. Now we're talking about what's going on. There he is. More stock footage. There's the giant syringe. Now, I don't understand exactly why they would have the handles look like 3 quarts of the serum have to go into them. So here he is by the dunes, not the dunes of the Cape, but the dunes in Las Vegas. And he just wanders through. Now, here's where the movie does falter a bit. Burt I. Gordon was never known for his excellent special effects, at least at this stage. I do think this is his best black and white movie due to the overall content and the way it's treated. His best color movie is The Magic Sword. It does have better special effects because he got a bigger budget or something. He always made money. But here's a nice either forced perspective shot, but just really well done. More H. Wells just walking by, matted into him walking through Las Vegas like this. He doesn't do much damage, which is a little unfortunate because if you look at that, he takes off the crown, puts it back down, takes off the shoe, and he's smiling because his brain's not getting enough blood because his heart can't pump everything. He's 50 feet tall now, or 60 feet, and he's confused. It doesn't recognize people. So Langan really does a good job, I think. He doesn't have a lot of, he doesn't say anything else after he gets to be this size, but, he emotes properly. Crowd sequence, there he is, acting like the Hulk. Danny Tom. I mean, this is just nice that they have real things here so that you can see it and say, oh, look at that. I think it's just a nice touch. And more H. Wells. I guess he just by all his stuff here. He's running away, run away, run away. He doesn't not. They shoot him. He can feel it because he's still human. He's not invulnerable, but he probably does heal at a regenerating, much like the Hulk does. So, and the Hulk's been through Nevada. I think he was Mr. Fix-It there in Las Vegas.
The more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers.
I don't remember what he threw, but the Riviera, I think I've been there. And there's the Boulder Dam right outside there. So we're approaching the end of the movie as we know it. They're trying to talk to him. It's me. So they land. There's a syringe. Here's a really famous shot. You'll see probably. I'll put the trailer on probably at the beginning of this, and they jab it into him, and he picks it up and spears this poor schlub. Grabs Carol and heads toward the dam. Finally, he puts her down, and they bazooka him. And I think it clues on. So he realizes it's her. And then they just blast him. Down he goes. And this is where the movie ends. They rush over, and all we see is the turbines and everything, the water flowing. And that's the end of the end. Period. End of story.
Stop action both on and off the track with Speed Racer. Watch him weekdays at 3:30 on WSNS TV 44 Chicago.
There we have it, my fellow agents. The original Astounding Colossal Man. He's amazing as well, and he might even be a little incredible and hulking all at the same time. Let me know what you think. If you can in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. So tomorrow will be Speed Racer, and we'll get to see that promo once again. But until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out and staying away from the Boulder Dam because I don't want to fall off. Be seeing you.
Alloy wheels, chrome details, custom paint, premium stereo. The Mystery Machine has room for 5. And the power and handling you expect from a quality driving machine. What the? Oh! Speed Racer on Cartoon Network.
Dogs should not drive.